This is the part you're supposed to play that really sad Evanescence song. No, not that one. Metafix. Golden Age got cut recently. This is actually filmed 11 days? 12 days? 11 or 12 days? Almost 2 weeks after the cuts. What do we miss? What don't we miss? I'm actually going to describe both. And all of these figures I'm going to talk about are what we do and don't miss. I'm going to quickly speak about, but I'm not going to go into great detail about how this has affected the future of the game with certain elements being gone. So let's get started. First off, monster teams, you were getting such a good boost recently, and then you lost your biggest proponent, the Mole Man. I love you, buddy. We lose his free mind control, his outwit, his stealth, or his phasing, his super senses. But mostly we're going to miss his mind control. The ability to move a Shumagarath across the board on the first turn and attack your opponent is gone. Or the same with Bizarro or your Larissa Draxes. Love you, buddy. Bye-bye. The effect this has on the metagame is that the monsters lose that ability. They have to gain it in a character that doesn't have the monster keyword, thus breaking their theme. Now, the theme isn't as big a bonus right now for the monster team, considering the monster is a generic keyword, and, well, you know, with the generic and non-generic, like how generic keywords no longer get the theme props, and that was part of the monster being strong with Moment. With that theme prop gone, you're really fighting for map control. A lot of monster teams don't care about the map. They have a lot of flyers, they have a lot of ignore hindering, a lot of ignore stuff. So, do they lose? Not really. I mean, they lose a really big acceleration piece. We're over it, right? Next up, we lose the ability to tell our opponents that you can't rely on probability control. Justice League 52 kind of caught us off guard. I'm not going to lie. It was the set that we all kind of went, huh? Who knew? I don't understand the decision. Maybe it's because they're remaking a bunch of the characters. I'm over it. It's unfortunate to see some of these characters go because I did really like the Justice League Dark as a team for my non-meta stuff. But meta-wise, we're losing two major figures from the set, being John Constantine and somebody else from the Justice League Dark, Enchantress. Enchantress, we're losing her 8-range probability control for 50 points, her telekinesis, her super senses and phasing, her very big mobility, and the Mystic's team ability. With John Constantine also losing his Mystic's team ability and his wild card teaming. It's sad losses, but I think Enchantress was the bigger hit because of the fact that she had 10 attack with 3 damage at 8 range and 2 targets. That's a heck of a support piece, if you ask me. Peace out. Astro Doctor Stranges are no longer going to be filling in the spaces of mystical teams with their free movements and their incapacitates after making free movements and just their general irritableness. They were pretty awesome, and they're gone. Golden Age is still probably going to see me make Astro Doctor Strange with Doctor Strange. Modern Age wasn't really an option anymore anyway because the metagame kind of curved away from that. Scarlet Witch, your 75-point and 50-point Fast Forces version is gone. The crutch is gone, guys. Get over it. I'm sorry, but this figure made the game a little bit too easy for some people. The fact that she gave you the Perplex and Probability Control, she of 75 points, she also had TK, or at 50 points, she had Psychic Blast to go with a barrier. Yikes! This character was a little too good, as far as making your other characters good. Not in the sense, like, Enchantress had the Probability Control on TK, that she was good. The fact that she was also doubled as a high-strength attacker made her a little better. Scarlet Witch gave you that extra bit of Perplex, and we all know how strong Perplex is because we've been using it ever since the Con Artist. So, that said, this is noting, I want to point out that the biggest loss to the modern age metagame is in the low point realms. Most noticeable, anyway. There are some tentpoles we do lose. Some big figures, big threats. Yeah, Galactus is gone. Bye-bye. See you later. I'm not throwing him. He's big and might crush all the other figures. But the 300-point Galactus is no longer a consideration that you have to consider. Department of Redundancy Department. I mean, considering he also has Energy Explosion with 3 targets on the current meta, that's disgusting. So I'm over that big time. Oh, excuse me. We lost the first of the resources. The weirdest, or probably the one that brought the resource to the game, the Infinity Gauntlet. The Infinity Gauntlet made one character great eventually. It was a slow burn. It was a good burn. Generally pretty reliable, but it was also very unreliable in the fact that you could overroll that Godhood. And that's always a threat. You don't want to overroll the Godhood. It was seen the first year it showed up. It was seen on a lot of teams, but it was also seen on a lot of different teams, which I kind of explained in the Origins Nationals recap. Was that a healthy metagame does have a lot of variation, even though there is commonality. The Book of Skulls was in a lot of teams, but all those teams that used the Book of Skulls were built differently and using it differently. The Infinity Gauntlet was no stranger to that either. We had teams that included Black Adam, Eradicator, Superman, Morgan Le Fay won the Modern Age Worlds. Alex Savedas, congratulations on that one. I probably said his name wrong. Anyway, as a whole, the Infinity Gauntlet's a loss, but it was swiftly followed by 2 resources that were a little too strong. And one of the things I want to say about that is, if you look at the progression of the resources right now, we had the Infinity Gauntlet, which was pretty strong, but fairly balanced in how strong it is. Then we got the Utility Belt and the Book of Skulls, which were a little too strong given what they do. So, as you see it shift away from that, we're going to see things like the Mandarin Rings Power Plant and the Dark Phoenix, or the Phoenix Force resource. They're going to be kind of waysided until those 2 are gone. I accept it. It happens. Nothing we can do about it. But as those things slowly go, we're going to start seeing, as these resources kind of balance themselves out, that we're going to go back to that point where the resources will be there, and they always will from now on. Let's just be honest with it. They're always going to be there now. But they're going to be different. They're going to be more utility in their use as opposed to stat boosting. So, I look forward to that future. But let's progress with the metagame we have now. And let's slightly point out that, if those of you who are paying attention, the 10th anniversary sets just got really good.